Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mondays with Meg. And this week, we are actually going to be talking about a very appropriate topic: how to intentionally connect with your honey when work from home life literally never stops, right, friends? So, in order to really tackle this subject today, I asked one of my dear friends, Lindsay Scholz, to have time with us this morning. So, Lindsay, thank you for taking some time with us today.
Of course, I'm happy to be here always.
Okay, fantastic. I'm so glad. I will tell you guys, Lindsay, not only is she a friend and the very talented owner of two businesses, Lindsay Scholz Studio, and also Vowed Box Co. And she actually is super creative and very much so been living this life with her husband over the past 11 months now. So, so Lindsay, thank you for taking this time with me today. Are you ready to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, fantastic. So, friends, if you are 100% like us, you are not alone right now. If you're really wondering how in the world do we actually thrive in our relationships right now, not just survive, working with home with our significant other. If you're like me, and oops, oh my gosh, now my earbud's falling out. If you're like me and Lindsay, you are already well into many, many months of this new normal, right? And have probably realized a few things that have and have not worked when navigating this challenging situation and dynamic of working at home with your spouse and trying to balance your relationship on top of that. Not only are you like sharing internet bandwidth, right? But the lines are also getting super blurred when work stops and when your time as a couple begins. So, Lindsay, I have to ask you, how has your work and life kind of that balance changed for you since being home so much more this past year?
Yeah, so for me personally, and for my husband and I as a couple, we've honestly probably worked more than we ever have this
Right.
last year. We're both super career driven. I own two businesses. He is in a director role with a corporate company. So we're kind of just always expected to be on. And there was a bit of a lull with our work at the very beginning of the pandemic because I think everyone was just kind of adjusting to a new sort of work life and figuring out what was going on. But after that first month or so, things really picked up and we've just been going nonstop. So we've really had to continually check in and have conversations about, can we set working hours? Is there a way that we can really turn the work off? And it's definitely an imperfect science. And, a year into this, we're still kind of finessing it and finding a schedule that works for us. But,
Yeah,
our working hours have definitely gone up, which was a little bit surprising.
sure.
But, for me, coming from a business perspective, I'm grateful, to have the work. So I'm kind of clinging to that and just going after it.
Yeah, I love what you said about really deciding on work hours and communicating with each other about that because I'm sure, I don't know about you, but in my household, some weeks that needs to look different, you
Yeah.
know? So tell me a little bit about what it's like for you guys with actually communicating about this and being on the same page day to day or week to week with what the needs really are so that you are intentionally giving each other what you need.
Yeah, so something that we've tried to do is set aside our Sunday afternoons to kind of look
Mhm.
at the next week as a whole and
Nice.
plan together, which is something that we never used to do. I used to, pre-pandemic, we would kind of just hang out on Sunday and I would be the one that would sit down with my to-do list because I'm crazy and like want to have everything organized. And
For
he would be
sure.
like, he's like, you need to take a break. It's Sunday, just rest. And I would be like, no, I need to do this. But now I think this year has shown him how important that is because he's doing it with me now, which is nice. I like to sit down and take 30 minutes just to look at our calendars, make sure that everything's aligned. If he has a video call at the same time I have a video call, we need to
Mhm.
figure that out because our internet, all of that. Just little
Yes.
details that you never would have thought about, a year ago. And in a way, I'm grateful for that 30 minutes now. And it's something that I look forward to at the end of the weekend because it's just a good way that we can just have like a glass of wine, talk about our next week, and just really feel like
Yeah.
we're on the same page. So I never thought that we would have that time or have to talk about these things, but we
Right.
do. And it's been kind of like a hidden blessing.
Well, I know I've been having to do the same thing with like, okay, guys, because I have, Craig and my daughter Vicky is also with us, and like, here's where I need bandwidth outside of work hours this week, like,
Right.
and like make sure the dogs are where they need to be or whatever. Like, what is this life? So, I love that you guys have not only intentionally figured out how to communicate about this, but you're also actually enjoying that time. I love it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Ooh,
It's been
I
fun.
love this, Lindsay. So good. So how do you make sure, this is a question I get asked a lot. So how are you guys making sure that you actually have like date nights or actually like time connecting, not just time zoning out, because I feel like that is the biggest struggle with couples right now, with like, well, we can't really go do what we normally used to do, and a lot of times,
Yeah.
to connect. So how are you guys finding that working for you right now?
Yeah, we still try to keep like a weekly date night on the calendar. It definitely looks
Nice.
different. It's just us going to pick up curbside and then bringing it back to the house.
Right.
But it's still something, that we look forward to because it's a reason to get out of the house. And
Mhm.
we always try a new restaurant. So there are ways to keep it fun. Something else that we've also done is finding like Airbnbs locally that are like 30 minutes away and just
Yeah.
working from somewhere else, just
Nice.
us and our dogs, which has been really, really nice. Just to be doing the same work, but just doing it from a different location, it just
Yeah.
feels refreshing. So that's been something too that's really helped us. I think we've done that once or twice.
Nice.
But that's just been nice because I think sometimes when you're in your house, every day can kind of blend together. That's something that we've talked about too, and just finding new ways to still be safe, still get your work done, but just do
Yeah.
it in a new way has been really wonderful.
Oh, I love that so much. I know we've had to put new offices together that were never offices in
Yeah.
our home and things like that. So we do have more of like a division of space, but absolutely every once in a while having some different walls around you, meaning
Yep.
like an Airbnb or something, is actually very helpful for
Yeah.
sure. I love it. I know I've even kept up my co-working space at Brennan's in Midtown
Oh,
during this
good.
time just to have somewhere else to go that I know is also safe,
Right.
and the three of us actually go every once in a while just to like get out of that house
Yeah.
and just be somewhere different. I love that tip so much. So how has all of this new normal, new balance with your relationship and work and all of that, how has that affected your relationship with your husband?
I honestly think it's just made it better. Like I see a
Good.
lot of people that are like, I'm going crazy. Like I need to get away from my husband. And I mean, I definitely have had those days, but I think that we're very fortunate in that we don't feel that way. And we've talked about that. I just think that it's given me a new appreciation for him because I now see what his crazy work schedule is like because I can go up
Mhm.
and kind of just peek in on him on a video
Sure.
call and see all of the things that are being thrown at him every day. Whereas before this, he would just come home and tell me about it. And I would be like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're all busy. But now I actually see it. And, I
Sure.
think that it just gives me a new level of admiration and appreciation for how hard he works, for our family. And I think the same thing goes, for me,
Yeah.
like he's seen me on my calls and actually seen the design work that I do and how much time goes into it.
Yeah.
And, I think from his perspective too, he's like, oh, you can't just design a website in a day. Like it is a process. So
Oh,
I think it's helped us both understand exactly what we do for work because I think sometimes, it's hard to
yeah.
understand unless you see it. So I never thought that I would know so much about the beer industry, but now I have learned a ton from my husband.
That's awesome. And I know I've caught my honey using a few of my gems on his sales work calls. Every once I'm
Oh,
like,
good.
hmm,
Where do you hear that?
it's fine. I'm like, you can hire
Yeah,
me. It's okay. Just kidding.
that's so funny.
But
I
yeah,
love
it's
that.
true. That is a really good point. We're all kind of getting like a glimpse behind the veil, right? I
Right.
really, really love that so much. Great perspective for sure. Well,
Yeah.
you guys, I have more tips for you on the blog. So you definitely want to follow that link to go over to the blog. Not only are you going to get some other great tips that we haven't had a chance to talk about today, but Lindsay has also offered all of you a discount code on 10% off any Vowed Box Co purchase. Now, this is her business that she recently relaunched, you guys, and it is beautiful. Lindsay, why don't you tell them a little bit about Vowed Box Co?
Yeah, sure. So Vowed Box Co. is a line of curated or build your own gift boxes for modern brides. We launched about 3 years ago now because we found that there was a gap in the market for brides that were looking for gifts that were from small makers. So everything that's in our boxes is from small women-owned makers that you will not find anywhere else. And we just put a lot of care and time into the boxes. So if you know someone who has recently gotten engaged, or maybe even someone who got engaged but had to postpone their wedding, it's just a really nice pick me up that you can offer. And all of the gifts are under 100 as well. So it's a pretty attainable option for gifting.
Yes, and it's beautiful. You guys, you
Thank
need to go
you.
check this out. You have got to go. And she was so generous and gave us this coupon code. So go over to the blog so you can grab that coupon code. The link is right there for you. Just click on over and go check it out. And Lindsay, thank you so much for having this time with us this morning.
Of course, I enjoyed it.
Yes, and we hope you all have a fantastic week.